Hello everyone, thank you guys for joining me for this 1-hour power yoga flow. My name is Nicole. So just before we get started, all you're gonna need is a yoga mat if you have one. If not, any surface works as long as it's a little bit more gentle on the wrists and the knees. And then if you have a yoga block, that would also be really great. If not, you can stack some books or textbooks, anything that's just gonna elevate the ground for you. With that said, this is going to be a little bit more of a fast-paced flow, so just remember to listen to your body and go at your own pace. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Coming into a comfortable child's pose at the middle of the mat, bringing the toes to touch, and just allow the belly to soften between the space of the thighs, extending the arms forward. Third eye rests on the mat. As you begin to settle into this space, try to quiet your mind, letting go of your day, letting go of your to-do list, letting go of your expectations, and just bringing your awareness to the breath. Noticing if your breath is short and choppy, or maybe it's already running deep. We want to focus on taking nice big belly breaths, long inhales through the nose, feeling the belly expand, and long quality exhales back out the nose, feeling the rib cage deflate. We're starting to fire up our Ujjayi breath, our victorious breath. We are warming the body from the inside out. Bringing some movement into our practice. Go ahead and tent the palms, lifting the creases of the wrists off of the mat. We're on our fingertips here, drawing the shoulders down the spine, pressing the hips back onto the heels, feeling that nice stretch along the vertebra. Finding a deeper fluidity in the breath here. Nice long inhales, nice long exhales. On your next inhalation, lift the torso, walking the body over to the right. We're creating a nice stretch along the left side intercostal muscles. We want to focus on rolling that left shoulder down, pressing the hips back onto the heels. With each inhale, we lengthen through that right side body. Maybe walk the fingertips a little bit more towards the right side, just creating a deeper stretch. On your next inhale, we lift the torso, walking through center, take it on over to the left, creating that same stretch, this time in the right side intercostal muscles. Again, really connecting to the duality of this pose. In yoga, we link breath to movement. So with each inhale, we lengthen through the right side body. And with each exhale, we contract slightly in that left side rib cage, finding a deeper expression of the stretch. Holding here, or again, maybe walking a little bit more towards that left side. Just feeling a nice opening through the left side body. Inhale, come back to center, resting the third eye on the mat, child's pose. Just taking a moment here to set an intention for your practice. An intention can be a thought, a dedication, a mantra, something that is going to guide you through your practice. Yoga is the practice of moving the body with intention. So remember to honor your intention as you move through the rest of your practice. Slowly bring the gaze forward, shifting onto hands and knees. We find tabletop pose. Just checking our alignment here. We want to make sure the shoulders are stacked over the wrists, the hips over the knees. The core is slightly engaged here. We have a nice long spine. We're going to go ahead and stretch out the wrist here. We put a lot of pressure in the wrist. So go ahead and flip the hands backwards. So the creases of the wrists and the elbows should be facing out. The fingertips face the knees. If this feels good, you can stay here, maybe tuck the toes and start to shift your weight into the back body, feeling that nice lengthening along the wrist crease. Maybe some subtle pulsations, just small micro movements as we begin to warm up the body. Moving into a more intense stretch, we are going to flip over so the tops of the hands are on the mat. The creases of the wrists are facing inwards. So are the fingertips. This is a little bit more intense, so maybe you stay here, or maybe you bend and straighten into the arms, wiggle the fingertips. Again, just getting a nice stretch through the wrist crease. Letting it go, we'll sit back on the heels, shake it out. Feeling a nice stretch along the back of the feet. If this is too much, you can always untuck the toes. Allow the hands to fall towards the ground, rolling the shoulder blades up, back, and down. We're gonna find a neck stretch, just warming up the cervical spine, calming the central nervous system. Go ahead and close the eyes here and allow the chin to drop to the chest, feeling a nice stretch along the back of the neck. Maintaining that nice fluid breath. Slowly roll right ear to right shoulder. Coming back through center, chin to chest, rolling over to the left ear, left shoulder. Feeling that nice stretch along the right side of the neck, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. Coming back to center, just move through a few at your own pace. When you're feeling nice and warm, maybe you make full rotations with the neck, allowing the head to fall backwards. Slowly flutter the eyes open, coming back into your tabletop. Just patting out the tops of the feet, let it go. We inhale that right arm high to the sky, drawing the shoulder blades to touch. And exhale, thread your needle. We're threading the right arm under and through the body. The top of the right shoulder is on the mat. That left hand can extend forward or maybe behind the back. Whatever works best for you. We're focusing on twisting through that upper middle thoracic spine. What's great about this pose is that there's very little gravity here, so we don't have to square off the hips. This way we can get a really nice stretch. Breathing here, shifting those hips forward just a little bit so you feel pressure on the top of the right shoulder. We'll slowly unwind from this pose, planting the left hand on the mat, reach that right arm back up, countering the twist. Let it go, tabletop. Inhale the left arm high to the sky, eye gaze follows, shoulder blades touch. Exhale, thread your needle. Top of the left shoulder on the mat. Again, finding that nice twist in the spine. We're wringing out the organs. This is aiding in digestion, helping to detoxify the body. So just breathe into this space, sending your oxygen throughout the body. Nice deep breaths here. Slowly unwinding, planting the right hand into the mat, counter the twist, reach that left arm back up. Let it go, tabletop. Let's move through some cat-cows here, spreading the fingertips nice and wide. We'll start with our toes tucked. As you inhale, allow the belly to drop, lifting the tailbone, lifting the gaze, feeling a nice lengthening and spreading through the clavicles. Exhale, untuck the toes, press into the floor, puffing up the spine. We're drawing the navel in here. Inhale, allow the belly to drop, cow pose. Exhale, untuck the toes, round and curl, cat. Go ahead and take a few more at your own pace. Again, just warming up the spine. When you're ready, turn this into your dancing lion, just starting to circle out the hips, the neck, maybe Rock the feet from side to side. There is no right or wrong here. Dancing lion is a free body movement. It's a great way to scan the body to notice any sticky spaces, any soreness or tightness. And then maybe you decide to send a little bit more attention to those spaces as we move through our practice. Finding stillness in tabletop. Extend the right arm forward, palm faces up. We want to start shifting our weight into the center line, wrapping the rib cage in, grounding through that left hand. See if you can slowly lift the left leg off of the mat, coming into our balancing tabletop. We want to press into the floor, making sure we're not dipping in that shoulder, engaging the core muscles. Holding here for one more breath. Nice long inhale and exhale. Draw elbow to knee under the body, round and curl, puffing up that spine, really engaging the core for stability here. Inhale, reaching out. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, round and curl, elbow to knee. Inhale, reaching back out. Last one. Exhale, elbow to knee, round and curl. Hold it, let it go. Inhale that left arm forward, palm faces up. Again, shifting the weight to the center, finding your stability through the grounded limbs. Slowly see if you can inhale the right leg up, coming into that balancing tabletop. Taking a few moments here to just get your balance, gather your strength. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee, under the body, hold. Inhale, let it go. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Let it go. Coming back into your tabletop. Again, spreading the fingertips nice and wide here, really gripping the earth. We're gonna tuck the toes here. Start by engaging the core and see if you can lift the knees about 1 inch off of the mat. The shin should be parallel to the earth. We're feeling the rib cage wrap in here. The core is starting to fire up. You can hold here or maybe shift your weight into the heels and shift forward. Shift back, shift forward. Feeling those quads start to burn, embracing that burn. We're warming up the big muscles in the body. Maybe you're starting to shake just a little bit. Connect back to that breath. Return to the intention you set at the beginning of practice. We'll find our release, lifting the hips back and up, coming into our first downward facing dog of the practice. Walking the feet slightly back, walking the hands slightly forward. We're finding a nice upside down V shape with the body. The spine is long, the neck hangs heavy. Start to walk out your dog here, just warming up the back of the legs. Bend and straighten the legs, pedaling out the heels. Maybe bend at the knees, whatever feels good for you, just explore this space. We want to consciously press our weight into the back body. The shoulders, the wrists, and the elbows are not weight-bearing joints. A few more breaths in this space. Find stillness in your downward facing dog. Shifting your weight forward, coming into a plank pose. We're gonna hold here for just a minute. You can drop to the knees if this ever becomes too much for you. So plank pose is a full body integration pose. We're working all the muscles from head to toe. We're engaging the core here, engaging those legs. From here, see if you can bend the elbows in towards the body, lowering down halfway. Again, you have the option to drop onto the knees. This is our Chaturanga Low Push-Up. The top of the shoulders should face outwards. And then we just let it go, coming all the way onto the mat. Third eye rests on the mat. We're gonna open up the spine just a little bit more by going through a Cobra series. So we wanna start with the fingertips in line with the shoulders. We want the elbows tucked in towards the body. The top of the feet are on the mat. We want to engage those legs, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. Coming into our baby cobra, we inhale Engaging the low back, lift up gently. See if you can lift the fingertips off of the mat here. This is a very gentle variation, a very gentle back opener. Breathing here, see if you can lift the gaze. We want to spread through the chest, shining the heart. Let it go. Third eye rests on the mat. So the next variation is going to be lifted cobra. So we're walking the fingertips back just a little bit in line with the chest. Again, keeping those elbows tucked in towards the body. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, gently press into the mat, lifting up just a little bit more. We want to keep a nice bend in the elbows, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Feeling a deeper opening in the spine. Nice deep breaths. Exhale, let it go. So the last variation is going to give you the deepest stretch. So you can do any one of these variations for your last set, but if you're moving into your full Cobra pose or upward facing dog, we want to walk the fingertips back just a little bit more to frame the rib cage. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, we press all the way up, straightening into those elbows. Again, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, lifting the gaze. This is our full Cobra pose. From here, you can lift the thighs off of the mat, coming into our upward facing dog. Breathing here, our final moments in this space. Exhale, let it go. Press all the way back into your child's pose. This time we want the knees to touch and taking the hands by the sides of the body. I'm releasing the low back just a little bit. Breathing here. Whenever you're ready, find your way back into a downward facing dog. Starting to pick up the pace here just a little bit. Inhale, sweep that right leg high to the sky, coming into your three-legged dog. So we want to open up the hip here, stacking the right hip on top of the left. Go ahead and bend and straighten into the leg. Maybe take large circular rotations with the leg. Maybe bend and straighten at the knee, whatever feels good for you. We're just starting to open up the hip, feeling a nice stretch along the back of the left leg. On your next inhale, we elevate the pose, coming onto the toes of the left foot. Inhale, look forward, shift your gaze, and we shift forward, draw knee to nose, under the body, round and curl. Similar to what we did down on our knees. Inhale, sweep it back and up. Inhale, elevate the pose. Exhale, shifting forward, we draw right knee to right tricep and hold. We want to focus on lifting the hips up here, engaging the core. Inhale, sweep it back and up. We know where we're going from here. Inhale, elevate the pose. Shift forward, right knee, left tricep, hold. Again, lifting through the hips. And sweep it back and up. Three-legged dog. This time we're closing off the hip here. And in order to do so, we need to inner spiral that lifted leg. So it's going to be a little bit lower than before, and we want to flex that back foot, almost like we're stomping our footprint on the back wall. Nice deep breaths here. Feeling a different sensation here, this time along the IT band of the left leg. Inhale, elevate the pose, look forward, step right foot between the feet. Drop that knee, we're coming into knee down lunge. Slowly start to sink the hips towards the earth as you peel the chest back, drawing the shoulder blades back up and down. Feel that nice stretch along the front of the left hip. Inhale the arms overhead. Lengthen through the sides of the body, nice deep breaths. We're going to cartwheel the arms open here, planting the left hand by the side of the right foot, and sweeping that right leg or arm high to the sky. So from here, you can straighten into that leg, lifting into a full lunge. You also have the option to take the knee down variation, whatever feels good for you. We're finding our lunge twist, lifting through the hips here, engaging that back leg high on the ball of the toes. Just starting to open up the shoulder, open up the chest, open up the upper back. Breathing here, nice deep breaths. We'll counter the pose, taking the right hand inside of the right foot, reaching the left arm high to the sky. Reverse lunge twist. Again, you always have the variation to drop that knee, whatever feels good for you. This is a great time to incorporate a block into your practice, just lifting the ground closer to you. It's going to keep you nice and lifted here. Let it go. Both hands on the inside of the right foot, walking over to the left, finding a wide-legged forward fold. So we have a nice wide stance here. The feet are slightly pigeon-toed. For now, just hang heavy in this space. Spine is long, neck hangs heavy. Maybe bend and straighten the legs just a little bit. Again, we're slowly opening up the backs of the legs. Inhale the hands to hips. We rise to standing with a flat back. Interlace the fingers at the base of the spine. Interlacing the fingers at the base of the spine. As we inhale, we roll the shoulders back, up, and down, drawing the knuckles towards the earth. Feeling a nice opening in the front of the chest. And as you exhale, we forward fold. Allow the knuckles to fall away from the body. Finding a nice shoulder stretch. Nice deep breaths as the crown of the head releases closer to the earth. Let it go. We walk back over to the right, finding our lunge pose. Step the right foot back to meet the left, plank pose. So combining the poses that we did early in our practice, we're going to move through our first vinyasa. Inhale, we shift the weight forward. Shoulders are forward of the wrists. Dropping the knees here if needed. As you exhale, lower down halfway, Chaturanga. Inhale, we pull the torso through, upward facing dog or Cobra pose. And exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Dropping onto the knees for just a moment, finding a child's pose, just taking some time to reconnect. Meaning back. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my microphone here. Slowly lifting back up into your downward facing dog. We'll move into that left side. Inhale, sweep the left leg high to the sky, opening up that hip. Stacking left hip on top of the right, bend and straighten. Circling out the leg. Tuning into whatever feels good for you. The one thing we want to be conscious of is that we are keeping the chest squared off here. We don't want to overload that right wrist. Nice deep breaths here. Inhale, elevate the pose. And as you exhale, shift your weight forward, drawing left knee to nose. Holding here, press into the floor, lifting that knee. Inhale, sweep the leg back and up. Moving through those 3 knee variations. Inhale, elevate the pose. Exhale, shift your weight forward, left knee, left tricep, and hold. Inhale, sweep it back and up. Last time. Inhale, elevate the pose. Exhale, left knee, right tricep. A little bit trickier. Feel those oblique muscles fire up. Inhale, sweep it back and up. Closing off the hip here, 3-legged dog. Inner spiraling and corkscrewing that back leg, closing off the hips here. Really embrace that sensation along the back of the right leg. Inhale, elevate the pose, look forward, step forward, lunge pose, dropping that knee. Coming into our low lunge. Slowly lower the hips towards the earth as we peel the chest back. Inhale the arms overhead. Just breathing here, lifting the chin, lifting the gaze. See if you can find an even deeper expression of this pose. And let it go. We cartwheel the hands open, placing the right hand on the inside of the left foot and reaching the left arm high to the sky. So again, you can keep the drop knee variation or straighten into that back leg, coming into our full lunge. Breathing here, feeling a nice twist. Notice that we want the hips to stay lifted here. We don't want to sink into this space. Nice deep breaths. Again, utilize the block if you want, if that serves you. Countering the twist, bringing the left hand inside of the left foot. We reach the right arm high to the sky. Nice deep breaths. Let it go. Walking all the way over to the right side, we'll find that wide-legged forward fold once again. So from here, we're going to focus more on a hamstring stretch here. So taking a peace sign finger grip, we want to grab the big toes. As we inhale, we look out and lengthen, straightening the spine. And exhale, forward fold. Bending into the elbows, drawing the torso closer to the thighs, and just allowing the crown of the head to fall towards the earth. It's okay to bend into the knees just a little bit. The more you bend into the knees, the more we decongest the low back. So again, just tuning into whatever feels best for you. Let it go. Walking back over to the right, we find our lunge pose. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Moving through a vinyasa. Again, drop the knees if you need to. Inhale, we shift the weight forward. Exhale, bending into the elbows, lower down halfway. Inhale, pulling the upper body through. And exhale, roll over the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Feel free to personalize your own vinyasa. Finding whatever works best for you. Let me breathe in this downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg high to the sky. Look forward, step forward. Lunge pose. We've been here before. Press down to lift up, rising into your high crescent lunge. So the lifted variation of the low lunge version. Breathing here, lift the gaze, lengthen through the sides of the body. We want to focus on slightly tucking the tailbone under here, so it's okay if that back knee bends just a little bit. Nice deep breaths. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. We're cartwheeling open towards the left, coming into our warrior two. So changing up the stance just a little bit. We have a nice 90-degree bend with the front knee. The thigh is parallel to the earth. And then we have a 90-degree angle with that back foot. We want to utilize the outer blade edge of that foot, gripping into the mat, engaging those legs, nice strong arms. Taking the eye gaze through the fingertips. Again, feeling those quads start to fire up. Breathing into any sensations you feel. We'll find some relief here, pumping our warriors. As you inhale, we straighten the front leg, reaching the arms overhead. Lift the gaze. Exhale, warrior two. Let's do two more. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift and lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, warrior two. We're flipping that front palm up, reaching forward until you can't reach anymore. And then we slide the left hand down the left leg, reaching the right arm up and over, exalting the pose, reverse warrior two. Finding a nice C curve in the spine here, you want to focus on peeling the chest open towards the ceiling. Keep tracking that front knee forward. In this pose, we have a tendency to pull out of the knee, so make sure you maintain that 90-degree bend. Last breath here. See if you can bend a little more into that front knee, embracing that burn. Let it go, warrior two. Bending that front elbow, we'll place the right forearm on the right knee, reaching that left arm high to the sky, side angle. So in this pose, you want to roll the tailbone under and pull the chest back, almost like you're stuck between two panes of glass. You can stay here, or maybe work the hand towards the floor or a block. I love using a block in this pose. It just makes it a lot more accessible to me. It's going to make sure that your hips stay nice and lifted, and you can really feel that opening in the groin muscles. Breathing here. Let it go, both hands inside of that right foot. We're gonna pivot on the back leg, dropping the knee here. Moving into our low lizard lunge, we wanna walk that right foot out just a little bit and slide that left knee back, untucking the toes and allowing the hips to fall towards the earth, feeling that nice stretch along the hip flexors. So from here, you have two options. You can keep the foot planted on the earth and hug the right knee towards the right shoulder. Or for an external hip stretch, go ahead and walk the right foot out just a little bit more, roll onto the blade edge of the foot, allowing the knee to splay open. Maybe try both and just find whatever works best for you. If this feels good for you, you can slowly work your way onto forearms, maybe onto a block. We really want to be patient in this pose. This is an intense hip opener, and we tend to carry a lot of tension and emotion and stress in our hips. So we want to be really patient as our body opens up in response to this stretch. Nice deep breaths here. We'll slowly work our way out of this pose. We want to be really gentle here. Pressing the hands into the mat, walking that right foot in, hands frame the foot. Tuck the toes, straighten into that knee. Step right foot back to meet left plank pose. Moving through an optional vinyasa, maybe just meet me in downward facing dog. We're taking this vinyasa at our own pace. From downward facing dog, inhale the left leg high to the sky, three-legged dog. Look forward, step forward, lunge pose. Press down to lift up, rising into your high crescent lunge. Nice strong legs here. Again, a nice subtle tuck in the tailbone here, engaging the core, lifting the gaze. Nice deep breaths. Cartwheel open into your warrior two. We're opening up towards that right side. Everything is squared off. Eye gaze through the fingertips. See if you can bend a little more into that front knee. Again, embracing that burn. You've earned it. Nice deep breaths. Finding our relief. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Reversing the pose, we flip that left palm, reaching forward, and exhale. Reach that left arm up and over. Again, peeling the chest open towards the sky, tracking that left knee forward. Nice deep breaths. Oxygenating those muscles. Last breath here. My quads are starting to shake. And let it go, warrior two. Bending that front arm. We move into our side angle. So that left forearm is on the left thigh, reaching the right arm high to the sky. Breathing here, again, imagine you're stuck between two panes of glass. Focus on rolling the tailbone under, peeling the chest towards the ceiling. Holding here, or maybe you work your way closer to the mat. Let it go, both hands on the inside of the left foot, pivoting on the right leg. We'll drop the knee, untuck the toes, finding our lizard lunge on the left side. Walking that left foot out. Take whichever variation you took on the other side, whatever feels good for you. Keeping lifted or maybe dropping onto the forearms. Again, having that patience in this pose. Each and every day is different. No feeling is final. Some days we're a little bit more flexible than others. Nice deep breaths here. Gently moving out of this pose, we'll plant the hands into the earth, lifting up. The hands frame the left foot. Straighten that back leg. Step left foot back to meet the right plank pose. Again, moving through a vinyasa at your own pace. Maybe just meet us in downward facing dog. As you settle into your downward facing dog, go ahead and take 5 deep breaths here. You have the option to drop to child's pose if that serves you. But just take these 5 breaths to come back to the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Take these 5 breaths to thank yourself for what you have accomplished so far. Taking the gaze to the front of the mat, we're going to walk the feet to meet the hands. Coming into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Go ahead and grab opposite elbows, hang heavy, maybe sway side to side. Releasing the low back here. This should feel really good. And then let those elbows go. Inhale, we look out halfway and lengthen. We have a flat spine here. The hands might slide up the shins. Exhale, forward, fold. Inhale, look out and lengthen, sliding the hands up the shins. Nice flat back. Exhale, forward, fold. Engaging the core, we roll up to standing one vertebra at a time. Rolling the shoulders up, back, and down at the top of the mat. Inhale the arms overhead. Maybe close the eyes here for just a moment as we lift the gaze. Nice deep breaths, feeling a nice grounding through the earth. We're going to take a side bend here, so grab the left wrist with the right hand. Inhale, we lift through the sides of the body. And exhale, lean the torso over to the right, finding a nice stretch along those left side intercostal muscles. So as we lean the torso over to the left, or over to the right, we want to shift the hips to the left. That's going to help us achieve that nice C curve in the spine. Engage the core here. This pose is a lot harder than it looks. You're working a lot of muscles in your core right now. Inhale, come back to standing. Go ahead and switch the grip. Inhale, lengthen through the sides of the body. Exhale, we lean the torso to the left, shifting the hips to the right. Breathing here. Inhale, come back to standing, release the grip. We're going to take a gentle back bend here. So as we inhale, lift through the chest, begin to shift the hips forward as you release the spine and neck back. We always want to engage the core when we do back bends, just to protect the spinal cord. Inhale, come back to standing, and reverse swan dive. Forward, fold, let it go. Maybe bend into the knees just a little bit, releasing the low back. Go ahead and widen your stance. So you want the feet to be about the width distance of your mat. And from here, we're just going to drop the tailbone down, coming into our yogi's squat. Bring hands to heart center. Use your elbows to press the knees open, feeling a nice stretch in the groin muscles. Deep breaths here. If this is too intense for you, go ahead and take a block and just sit on it. It's gonna feel really good and help you achieve that nice opening in the hips. Nice deep breaths here. We're going to take another belly twist here. Reaching the arms out, we want to reach the right hand down towards the mat and reaching that left arm high to the sky. Breathing here. Maybe take a bind, wrapping the left hand around the back, tucking it into the right hip crease. Let it go, come back to center. Just switching the grip here. The left hand down, right arm high to the sky. Maybe taking that bind. Come back to center, closing the eyes. Nice deep breath. Exhale, we let it go, straightening into the legs, shake it out. Walking the feet back, finding a downward facing dog. Moving into our cool down part of this flow. Inhale the right leg high to the sky. Look forward, shifting the weight forward. We want to bring the right knee to the center of the body. Slowly lower the knee towards the mat, untuck the back toes, dropping the hips, pigeon pose. Focus on squaring off the hips here, walking the fingertips back towards the hips, just lifting up, shining through the heart. And exhale, we allow the torso to fall towards the earth. Breathing here, feel that nice sensation in the back of the right hip. Again, if this is too intense for you, if your hips are feeling a little bit tight, take the block and place it underneath the right hip. Something I like to do is thread my needle here. So I thread my my left arm under and through, and I rest the top of the left shoulder on the mat. This kind of creates a little bit of balance in the body. I'm stretching the right hip, stretching the top of the left shoulder. Slowly coming out of this pose, planting the hands on the mat, just lifting out of this space. From here, we're going to swing the back leg up and around, planting the left foot at the right hip. Inhale the arms overhead, coming into a belly twist. We are going to twist open towards the left, hooking the right elbow outside of the left knee. Inhale, we lift, creating a nice straight spine. And as we exhale, we twist, taking the eye gaze over the left shoulder. Nice deep breaths here. This is a little bit more intense of a belly stretch. Let it go. We counter the pose by bowing over to the right side. That's just going to help release the spine. And from here, we're going to rock forward, planting the left foot on the mat, hands frame the foot. Slide that right hip, that right knee back. And we're going to shift our weight towards the heel, coming into our half split. Maybe slide the knee back just a little bit more. Again, being very patient here, moving very slowly. Maybe you move into your full split, whatever variation works for you. If you moved into your full split, go ahead and move back to your half split. From here, shift the weight back forward, planting the hands on the earth, straighten into the leg, lunge pose. Left foot steps back to meet the right, moving through a vinyasa or meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the left leg high to the sky, shift the weight forward, moving into pigeon pose. Left knee in between the hands, lifting the pose. We walk the fingertips back, spreading through the heart. Exhale, fold forward. Again, utilize the block if you need to. Maybe you take the thread the needle variation of this pose. Slowly working our way out, lifting onto the hands, walking the fingertips back. We're going to swing the right leg up and over, right foot at the left hip. Inhale the arms overhead, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twisting open to the right, left elbow hooks on the outside of the right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Let it go. We counter the twist, bowing over to the left, releasing the low back. Okay, taking that tricky transition here, we're just gonna step the right foot forward, sliding the left knee back, straightening that right leg as we shift the hips back, coming into our half split. So if you have two blocks, it could be really helpful to place both hands. It's gonna keep you lifted. Take a little bit of strain off of the back of the leg. Just breathing here, maybe slowly sliding that left knee back, moving a little bit closer to your full split variation. If you moved into your full split, we'll return to the half split variation, shifting the weight forward. Straighten the back leg, lunge pose. Step right foot back to meet the left. Again, optional vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take the eye gaze forward, slowly walking the feet to meet the hands at the top of the mat. And bending at the knees. Finding a seated position, extending the legs forward, seated staff. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side, pulling a little bit of flesh from under you. We want the sits bones grounded through the earth. Nice long spine. Inhale the arms overhead, lengthen through the sides of the body. And exhale, forward fold, reaching forward. We want to keep a nice flat back here. Something I like to do is I like to bend my knees. I like to grab the big toes, gluing my torso onto the thighs. I slowly start to straighten into the legs, straightening as much as I can until my torso, as long as my torso stays glued to the thighs. That way I know that I'm maintaining a flat back here. It's okay to bend the knees in this space. Let it go, reaching the hands forward. Engage the core and slowly roll one vertebra at a time all the way onto your back. Corpse pose. Inhale, bring knees into chest. Give yourself a big hug. Rock back from side to side, massaging the low back. From here, grab the outer blade edge of the feet, opening up those knees. Happy baby. Flexing the feet. See if you can pull the knees a little bit closer to the earth. Maybe straighten into the legs for a straddle variation. Rocking side to side. Just beginning to slow the breath. Hug the knees back into the chest. Nice big inhale. Exhale, extend the left leg forward, keeping that right knee to chest. With the left hand, take the outside of the right knee, swing it over to the left, belly twist. Our eye gaze and hand is out towards the right. Inhale back to center. Hugging both knees into chest. Nice big inhale. Exhale, extend the right leg forward. Taking the right hand, swing the left knee over to the right. Eye gaze and arm out to the left. Breathing here, our final twist of the practice. Come back to center. Hug the knees into chest. Exhale, let it go. Finding your final Shavasana. Starting to relax the body, allow the feet to splay open, palms face up by our sides. Relaxing the face, closing the eyes. Nice deep breaths. Give yourself these last few moments to fully relax into the space. Oftentimes we are so busy with our daily life that we don't give ourselves adequate time to reconnect and relax. You can stay in your final Shavasana or maybe roll over to the right side, finding a fetal position, and then slowly pressing into a seated position, crossing the legs. Keeping those eyes closed, bring hands to heart center. Final breaths. Nice long inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Taking these last few moments of class to thank each and every one of you for joining me for this power yoga flow. More importantly, take some time to thank yourself for showing up on the mat today and for allowing yourself these moments to practice. You are healthier now than you were an hour ago. And from my heart to yours, namaste.